Jared McVeigh leads all comers with 20 possessions to half-time. Hanbury, O'Keefe and Shaw will have 16 as we start the third term then. One down by Mumford. Pendlebury dragged off it. A test of strength with Kennedy. Kennedy virtually sitting on the football. And the umpire decides to ball it up. Josh Kennedy, 14 possessions, but some very important touches. And 3 goals, of course, in the first half. As he stamp on this game already in a big way. Jolly taps it down through the legs of Pendlebury. Jolly came again. Hanbury falling to the ground. Jack under pressure. Kicks inside the forward 50. Just. Brown takes the mark. Pendlebury on the overlap. No real urgency, breaking to the outer side. It was a clever kick. Pulls it back for Sinclair. One of his rare touches so far. Needs to fire up. This is Swan.
Shaw's the next link in the chain, but they've been able to cut it off. His side bottom, who Richo spoke about a moment ago. Quiet first half.
As Mick said, they took the punt to go into the centre of the ground, but then they've come back out wide again. Slowed the play down, Collingwood.
Oh, Thomas, big fly, but just as big at the back. The fist away, Malcheski involved. Hanbury's been a good player tonight. Shaw's been so resilient in the back half. And Kennedy rips it away from him. Oh. There's that strength. And he'll get a free kick, and the advantage you heard. Matner to Hanbury. Hanbury uncertain what to do. Kicks the ball to the goal square. LRT and Reid and Bird almost took it out of the air. LRT can't get the handle on it. He's fumbling around like LRT used to. And there you go.
It was interesting, when Hanbury had the ball, Roberts Thompson's job is to stay with Reid. And Hanbury's looking for him to move, but he said, no, just kick it on our head. That's where we want the footy.
That was a bare market, Bruce.
It was. That blue chip's looking suddenly green, isn't it? Beams has it ripped away. McVeigh, Hanbury, Kennedy, back to Jetta. Jetta swips it back, but Collingwood have done well here. Malcheski squeezes. Can he find a target? Roberts Thompson held up, and Reid concedes a behind. What did Mickey talk to you on the way down here about the Goods matchup? Did you remember, Lee, about maybe a Pendlebury to run with him? Or...
Yeah, just what to do about Goods, who's starting upfield and making it hard for a defender to come with him, whether a Pendlebury or a Swan has to try and pick him up and try and go the other way and test his defensive abilities.
Beams trying to pinpoint the ball. Nice spoil by Richards. Up and about now. After looking spent out of the congestion, O'Keefe bounces it down towards the pocket. It goes out of bounds, so a throw in a dangerous spot for the Magpies. They can ill afford to concede the opening goal here.
Where's Josh Kennedy? He's been fantastic at these forward 50 stoppages. Let's have a look where he's coming from.
Rucks go at it. Jolly trying to backhand it down. O'Brien hard to bring down. Can't get out of there, though.
Now.
And the umpire calls for it.
The Swans have been able to get the ball inside and actually bring it out in a bit of an arc. Josh Kennedy's an architect there. They'd want to make sure they've got arm across Lewis Jetta, who also could potentially be on the end of this one.
So a lot of the big ruckman there. Jolly just got the tap. Goods did very well. High, and right to the goals. And Collingwood get it over. So the Swans dominating in terms of scoring shots and a big lead. Yes, Mickey felt that the Goods matchup was the harder. He felt that he was such an influence in that first half. We all agree. The kick side bottom ran off. Reid, who didn't mind the mark particularly well. Cloak up the ground. Such a long kick, Cloak. Dawes, can he take a mark? Goldsack, Dawes got up really high. Sinclair, and then Sinclair's kick is a good one. Goldsack searching, doesn't take the mark. It's a goal. It's a goal to Tuvey. It was lucky.
Yeah, just want to walk back a little.
Johnson taps the ball into Tuvey, I think, and Tuvey looks like he's got a goal, I reckon. Oh, no, it's a knee. It's a gee.
Whoa.
So the video review hasn't been kind to Collingwood the last couple of weeks.
We'll see what the final adjudication is.
Just got to wait for the signal, okay, thanks.
That's a point.
Just waiting.
Looks off the top.
Review completed. Ball came above the knee, play behind.
Behind, okay. All clear, behind. Point. All clear.
And really, that's the system working at its best.
Absolutely 100%. So no complaints there. Shouldn't be any complaints from the supporters. It was adjudicated 100% correctly.
So Matner drives it outside the 50. Collingwood fans not happy, but the replay showed conclusively. Well done, Mumford spins out of trouble. Hanbury, O'Keefe, McVeigh racked up the possessions in the first half, goes along the line deliberately and finds O'Keefe had run on. And this midfield of Sydney is right on top at the moment. The figures bearing that out. What a beautiful pass to Bolton. A collection of their midfield combining there. Bolton, his 12th possession. What a beautiful kick. Oh, dropped by Reid. Sam put it on the deck. Jack comes in. Hand passes to Jetta. Jetta right on the 50. Swung as he kicked. Floating ball. Going back Kennedy. Side bottom did brilliantly. Came in and punched it back across the goal line.
Yeah, that's an unforgivable drop. That had the whole side of the ground to work with there. Just
didn't watch it into his hands.
Didn't keep his eyes on it.
Took his eyes off the ball at the last stretch.
Great little coaching tip to young players is when you're going to mark the ball, actually read the printing on the ball, and even the superstars should do that.
Such a marvellous kick. Deserved better. His side bottom.
A bit busier in this quarter side bottom, but all in the back half. When Richo talked about him, he talked about being able to score goals. So the last 13 scoring shots, 2-7 to 0-4. 2-7 to 0-4. So it's been a bit of a domination here by Sydney.
Unfortunately, for Sydney, Collingwood have missed a couple as well. They've had a chance.
Well, one we thought they had, but video review so pertinent at that point.
In that little segment on Jude Bolton half-time, I mean, there's attacking the footy and there's accelerating into the physical contact like Jude Bolton does. He just always takes one fast step into contact.
Jolly and Mumford, Grundy, McVeigh, prolific McVeigh. He was so good against Adelaide, particularly in that last quarter with those centre clearances. Goods at the back. Well, Reid dropped it. Goods probably put him off. It's a bad mistake by the Swans. O'Brien to Dawes. Now he looks up. Collingwood have got one man less in that forward line, which is the way with Sydney floating Matner at the moment. Side bottom. Can he find Cloak? He does. Good kick.
He's good running too. He came a long way. Cloak wheels around. Intended for Cracker. A lot of Swans on that trip in between Cracker and the kicker. Now a battle inside the 50. Cracker opts out. He just rolls out to the side of the pack. Malcheski's in there. Sinclair over the top, and the umpire wants it.
Even on that drive inside forward 50 for Collingwood, had the ball inside the corridor, brought it out wide where they feel comfortable. They're going to have to put themselves out of their comfort zone to get up into this game.
Mumford to Jack. Hanbury, McVeigh, high ball. Pendlebury had it punched away. Bird was the man who did the punching. Pendlebury did the crumbing though. Brown, Wellingham. Can he find a way through? No. Holding the ball. Or more correctly, incorrect disposal. So Johnson liked his game. The longer it's gone, the better he's got. He's looked very confident. Goes out wide. Oh, not again. Jetta runs up and hand passes. Anticlimactic. Shaw. He watched Jetta earlier. He kicks down towards the boundary. He wants the boundary. It stays in. Shaw. Pendlebury. Short one. Dropped by Brown. Brown falling to the ground. Beams. Waiting for it. Here's Ben Reid. Drives it beyond the wing. Flying from behind Johnson. Got it on the deck. Could almost be a free kick to Goldsack. Nothing doing. Well played, Goldsack. What a hard ball. Pendlebury gave a hand pass across the doors. Now it's with Cloak.
She's a long way from home, Cloak. So is Dawes. Richards at the back and out of play. Brett, what have you seen? Anything different from Collingwood in the second half?
I think they're trying to move the ball a lot quicker. So Sydney midfielders are very good two-way runners. They get back to help their defence out. But if Collingwood can move the ball quicker, they're going to get one-on-ones with Cloak forward.
Mumford to O'Keefe to centre wing. Well done by Reid. I reckon the only thing about the Swans at the moment, their last 3 or 4 entries into the 50 have been pretty sloppy.
Well, that last one at Shaw, I mean, he did a terrific job, Dawes, to actually keep the pressure on him from behind, but he still used the ball badly with a bit of time and space coming off that half-forward flank.
Enthralling duel, this one all night. Mumford and Jolly. Mumford reaching over the top that time. Knocked forward by Bolton, and again he won a hard ball there. Did brilliantly. Kennedy's hand pass not so flash. Gets it back from Roberts-Thompson. Kicks inside the forward 50. Goods was up. had it knocked away, well, sort of. Now it spills for Bird. Bird under pressure around the corner. Tarrant.
Bad use again.
Tarrant in the back pocket. Just get the feeling, though, Collingwood desperately need a goal. They're only a couple away from oblivion. They're really hanging on at the moment. Short one comes across to Brown, to Thomas. Runs himself into trouble. Goes across the ground. This will be interesting. Morton needs to come hard. William needed to take that football. McVeigh with support. Knew where it was to O'Brien. Bolton. Men on everywhere. Jetta wants it to ground. In front of him. Gathers it. Goes with the outside of the Bird. It's bending. It's a goal. Oh, brilliant. How did they think their way through that so well? The plan came to fruition.
X factor, we've talked a bit earlier. Frankly, he's got it. He kicked 19 behinds before he kicked a goal in AFL footy. He can make a difference. I thought he was so good against Adelaide last week. But Bolton, the old mature Bolton head there, I mean, they've wasted the footy going forward in this quarter, the Swans. Bolton saw Jetta out wide, kicked it out wide to him, and the rest, as they say, is history. It was beautiful history, by the way.
Isn't it amazing how the space has opened up all of a sudden? As the fatigue sets in the second half, it's become a bit of a game of flowing, keepings off. It was a question of which team could use the space to score. The Swans were the one who got it.
Two remarkable goals by Jetta. Kennedy again to Jack. O'Brien has been so good. O'Brien and Shaw in that back half. Out wide. Wants side bottom to run and he finds him.
Collingwood need to keep the ball out of the contest. The Swans will be really happy to play an arm wrestle for the rest of this quarter and break them with their 13-day break, which they've had in preparation. Collingwood just need to back themselves in and deny Sydney the ball.
Wellingham, poor kick. It was easy fodder for goods. Hanbury had nowhere to go, so goes back to Bolton, back to Hanbury, concedes back to Shaw. Shaw back to Grundy, and then Grundy off that step, floats the ball forward. Pike made the contest. Kennedy running hard, almost breaking the line. Morton, you better kick it. He was too slow, Morton. Got to take your chances when you're on the fringe, and Morton didn't take that one.
I think his own supporters did him in. The big roar as he was winding up there. He probably didn't hear Kennedy. Meantime, across half-back, this is Tuvey. I'm sure Kennedy was saying, kick it, you're hot. Ball short of the wing. Edged under it. Johnson. He's been good, Johnson. He goes back, he finds the footy, digs it in, finds a couple of metres, kicks it down towards half-forward, missed by Brown. Brown will get a free kick. What? It's going the other way. Well, umpires don't make that up. He must have seen the plumage. Pike.
You declare.
Everything falling.
Bring it back
into place.
Kieran, you just can't run through the... Kieran Jack through the mark.
Everything falling into place for the Swans at the moment. Malcheski. Some work being done on the bench. Collingwood don't need to lose anybody now. I doubt they will, but time consuming.
Willingham, I think.
Cut into his...
He's got the back of Brown's boots in the back of the head.
The dragging leg. Taken high as Reed.
Stay out.
Well, you see, need Collingwood players running to space to create the spread on the way out. That takes energy.
To Reed, to Tarrant, to O'Brien. Always with energy, trying to take them all on. Back he went to Shaw, back to Swan. So Swan, how many, Dennis?
14, Bruce.
Just how many has Beams had today?
15, Bruce.
Hasn't had the impact tonight so far.
Me? Or...
Oh no, you've done well. So
thank you.
Bird gets it to Shaw, and then Shaw's little kick to LRT. So suddenly you feel like the control's all in red and white, isn't it? I mean, maybe it's been there for a longer period than I'm giving them justice for, but at the moment Collingwood just can't get on that board. Shaw runs a long, long way and then kicks it long and wide. Thomas with courage. It was a bad kick again by Shaw.
Terrible kick. Just made it somebody else's problem. Now Cracker. They need a spark. No short. No pun intended. Here's for Solo. Inside the centre square, looking a little frustrated. Don't like to see that.
Forward of the ball, you've got Richards just floating back into the defensive 50. So if Collingwood go in deep, they just get outnumbered. So they're just going to play the ball round up here, but they just don't get anywhere.
Goldsack got it from Pendlebury. One of my pet peeves, Tommy, when players sort of remonstrate with their mates down the ground as though do something, but not always easy.
Well, the thing is, to Lee's point, Ted Richards is occupying space there. The Collingwood equivalent was Ben Reid. He was just behind the ball. That spare player for Collingwood needs to actually get used up as part of the attacking plan. It's got to be through the corridor.
Boundary throw, and Teddy Richards will get a call from the WWE, I reckon, on Monday, because his recuperative powers are outstanding. Opportunity for Kennedy, lost it, stripped of the football. Wellingham back in the action, beams across to Johnson. Johnson, the high ball, trying to reach over the top down there. Short, brilliant mark in front, taken by Blair, the smallest man on the ground. Now Elliott getting set to come on. He'll be the youngest man in the game.
Need the goal, they need the 6 points, and they need the adrenaline rush to come from scoring. Collingwood, they're just plugging away at the moment.
Last time these teams played, Elliott was 19. He's had a birthday since. He is 20. The other small man kicks it goal. Wide of the mark, Blair helped across the line. Collingwood needing goals. They're down by 34 points. Nathan Buckley has a lot to ponder.
Gee, that's a very big call by the umpire. Not sure that he was playing on. It's been 41 minutes since Collingwood has kicked the goal, and the ball out of play. So I don't think he could pull up there at the time. Could be wrong. I thought he was just on the burst.
No, I thought he took a step to play on, but
the
umpire called his bluff.
So Elliott to come on. So the sub, they just need something to happen here. They've got to try and break a line, break the rhythm of Sydney. And there is Reid, who Tom talked about as the loose man.
It's all well and good taking the ball off the opposition. You've actually got to use someone driving it forward also.
At the back, Grundy to Bird. And then Bird hard and high. Goods and O'Brien. I think it might be... Oh, it's a beautiful mark by Goods. Was so close to the line. And then Goods caresses to McVeigh. McVeigh, well, LRT was on the march, but Collingwood got back in a hurry. O'Keefe through the heart now of the centre.
Now there's space. You've got to use it. The question is to use
Harry to do something there, didn't you? He's had a really terrific night, but even he couldn't match Goods, who started so hot. LRT gets a free kick. 60 plays 26. Under 8 minutes to three-quarter time.
It's only split possession, but he's been a really valuable player.
He has. He's a warrior. Looks a warrior. Drives it deep into attack there. In front. Looking for a free kick. Mumford, nothing doing. Boundary throw in. Has a bit to say, does Mumford. Don King would be liking this. The Reeds. The family wouldn't, though. Ben and Sam. Wellingham. Stripped of the football. Jack. Snaps. Just misses.
You mentioned Lewis Roberts-Thompson, just the 4 disposals, 5 disposals. He only had 8 last week as well, and I mean he just has plays such an important structural role. And there's Gary Jack, rugby league legend here in Sydney, Balmain Tiger.
He made it.
Yeah, he went over to play at Salford when Kieran was a youngster. They were over there for 4 years, and Kieran played a lot of soccer there before he came back.
Play on.
It's an incredible story, isn't it? Good mark by Dawes.
Well, Elliott's, we know he's come on, but Sinclair is the man subbed off.
So like for like, I guess, Sinclair coming into the team tonight for Didak. Got the spot in front of Elliott. That was a hard hit. Beams, such a season. Just has to try and impose himself in the second half. Sidebottom held on to Hanbury in heavy traffic. Bolton back to O'Keefe. O'Keefe with a hard ball to mark, one way or the other. Hanbury in the right spot. Does he break the tackle? He does. Not a good kick. And Sydney's kicking forward in this third quarter has let them down a bit. I know they're a long way in front on the scoreboard, but it hasn't been good entries.
Tarrant to Thomas. Short one to side bottom. They need him to lift. He's across half back. Short one. Tarrant run on. Just shy of the wing. This will be a deeper kick. Blair set a task here. Equal to it. It was a good kick and a good run by Blair. Now he's about 75 metres out from goal. Cloak offers. That's ignored. Goes down towards the pocket. In front for Solo. Camped over the football was Elliott. Needs to get up quickly and go and support his mate. Down goes for Solo. Held to him. We'll have a ball up.
Straight up. Thanks, Alex.
That's one of the things I've noticed with a couple of their young players tonight, Collingwood, just not quick enough back into the contest. Sinclair earlier, and that time Elliott. Hit the deck, you've got to be back in it quickly. Side bottom, didn't know where it was. Goods did. Stole it away. Long kick. Collingwood need to hold here. Ball bounces obligingly for Bird. He goes to ground. Opportunity for Kennedy. Kennedy looks inboard. Jetta, we've seen this before. Shorter run. Jetta goes to the pocket. Mitch Morton has to wait for the bounce. Did all he could, put the body in. Opportunity for Tuvey. Morton almost got him. Oh no. Jetta turns around and kicks the goal. And the celebration says it all.
Full credit to Mitch Morton there because he came back for the second effort.
Great recovery. As soon as the hand pass went back into the centre corridor, if he didn't find his target, they were going to be in trouble.
Well, it's a steel rod in Collingwood's back, but you feel like it's been properly broken, don't you?
It's just finals footy here. It was a great contest by Ben Reid initially and Tuvey here. Watch the follow-up chase by Morton. Then just the outnumber. Jetta gets back into the contest. That forward 50 pressure is just so important.
Yeah, Morton's so good. What about Kennedy's where held up there, but still holds up and kicks it away. So Jetta's kicked as many goals tonight as Collingwood as we get deep into this third quarter. And the ball out wide, Cracker misses it. Smith ridden down. And it's just so difficult now to sing a way through for Collingwood.
Not household names, Smith and Johnson, but they've both been really good in defence for the Swans, able to play on the smaller blokes, good in the air.
Mumford, Hanbury and Beams. Two young guns. I mean, Hanbury, a rising star a couple of years ago. Beams, we know what he's done. How good was that? That was brilliant by Jack. He was a Jack in the box. And then Kennedy, that time, makes a blue and out on the full.
You made mention, Lee, of Smith and Johnson, these sorts of players for the Swans. This isn't the same side that contended grand finals in 05 and 06. It's a new generation of young Swans coming through.
Big changeover.
Tarrant to Tuvey. Tuvey, short one to Johnson. Johnson, defensive end of the square, drives it towards half forward. Cloak needs to come straight out of the contest. The mark is taken by Smith. This midfield, led by this man O'Keefe and Kennedy, have been outstanding. The much vaunted Collingwood midfield so far have been forced to lower their colours well and truly. Wellingham stitched up and ready to go again. Halfway through the term, copped a nasty knock on the head. Drives it back towards half forward. Collingwood must get a late goal. Grundy knocked it away from Cloak. Twisting, turning cracker. Goes down towards the pocket. Wide of the mark, though, and Smith just tracks it across. We'll have a boundary throw in. Under 4 minutes to three-quarter time. His side creeping closer to a grand final appearance.
Jolly and Cloak. Well, Jolly hooked it over the back to Cracker, to Thomas. Thomas's handle didn't quite find the mark, and then off the ground on the full against Ben Johnson and a Sydney kick. Nothing much going right for the Pies now. Kennedy, short. Mark taken by Morton, whose second effort a moment ago was just terrific. We all saw McGlynn before the game on the ground. He feels he might play next week. I say next week.
Over the back.
Pike takes the mark. I know I've gone a bit early, the early crow next week, but there's a chance, I think, to play next week, and the ball's out of play. Mumford there. Jolly was interesting because Johnny Longmire talked Jolly up this week. He was very happy to put him on the back page, wasn't he?
Yeah, I reckon there might have been some mind games there from John Longmire, just putting the heat on the opposition ruckman, saying, look, we know you're going okay, but we're more than capable with Mumford and Pike, and it's played out that way tonight.
Hanbury back to Shaw, tries to squeeze it through.
Wide of the pack, a chance here for Shaw. It's Reece Shaw, he punches it out of bounds. So Kennedy, 10 possessions. Sorry, Les.
He's very good early, Jolly, wasn't he? But I think it's the double teaming. I mean, Pike and Mumford are pretty agile, big, good running ruckman. They've just worn him down.
And quite often it's been 2 against 1, as we saw there in the contest itself. Free kick for Jolly that time against the double team. Swan drives it inside the forward 50. Mattner knocking away. Elliott missed the target. Johnson has become my second favourite. Johnson. Ball comes wide towards Goods, who stretches and takes the mark. Jetta's just come onto the ground. He's clear. Goods has spotted him too late. Well, he can't run from here. The man coming across, Reed on the angle, just closes him down. But Jetta was about 40 metres in the clear when he first stepped onto the arena. Kicks inside the forward 50. McVeigh slips a hand pass to Kennedy. 11 possessions in the term for Kennedy. Jack, a very high ball. Jude Bolton had it fisted away. And the ball runs out of bounds. But gee, they've got their backs to the wall now.
So the hard hit by Goldsack on Richards. And Johnson getting in there to help his mate.
You know you're in the Swans in this situation. You don't do anything that's going to get you in any sort of trouble for next week.
Kennedy, brilliant handball. O'Keefe's got a good angle. He won't quite get the carry. It doesn't matter.
Played the push.
So against Morton, eh? So that was interesting. Tuvey gets the free and gets the ball out wide.
Many times with Collingwood with the ball out wide, but there's no options presenting themselves except the little cheap one down the line.
Side bottom, hugging that line. Good mark by Dawes. Kicked an early goal, Dawes. He's done a great job to be out there tonight. Kicks the ball. Swans everywhere. Johnson couldn't quite. Did well, though. O'Keefe, the numbers all over the place. Red and white. Shaw's had so much of the ball. Not all of it has been meticulous. They're kicked by Hanbury. Morton to Jack. Now Chesky to Kennedy. Running hard to Jack. He'll fancy this. And he misses. He really should have nailed it.
Yeah, about 3 options flowing through the front of the centre square. It's like pick a teammate at the moment for the Swans. The Collingwood chase has just disappeared.
Well, really obvious signs of fatigue settling for Collingwood. You see red and white in the screen. Disposal efficiency, 71% to Sydney, only 65 to Collingwood. So all the flow with the red and white.
Harry O'Brien keeps working, kicks it down towards half forward for Solo, knocked it down, taken by Cracker. Now here's a chance. Tarrant runs to 50, lines up, kick is on the way, and it's a good one. First goal of the term for the Magpies. Well, they got 2 men free across half forward. That has been a rarity. And that was a good finish by Chris Tarrant from long range. But the margin still 36 points.
Well, the reason the Swans had 2 or 3 free runners through the front of the centre square and missed was the reason Collingwood had them on the way back. Just a game of keeping's off now.
Josh Kennedy has had 12 possessions in this term. Ryan O'Keefe has had 10. They've been magnificent.
So Tarrant has kicked more goals than any other Magpie out there tonight. 5 times their leading goal kicker, but Jack to Morton and just blazed Shaw. Could they create another one here? The time is a problem. We know Shaw through the centre to Tarrant, the man that kicked the goal. And then Taz, good kick. And finds Elliott. So can Elliott find a target? Now Chesky couldn't quite. And Swan takes a mark. You can see the clock. Could Swanee go all the way here? This would make a difference. 2 goals in the last minute. It's a good kick. It's going all the way. And Swan has kicked the goal. So the Swans' lead has been reduced quite dramatically in the last minute of the 3rd quarter. And suddenly that scoreboard looks a lot different than it did a moment ago. Who knows what's in store for us? Collingwood get 2 late goals. Tarrant and Swan, pretty good mates those two. It's 3/4 time in the preliminary final on a Friday night. It's still a big margin. It's 68 to 38.